Asher and Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Download!
This is Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with
Charlie from Malevolence.
Nice. So, it's so funny that this happened because I was sitting there talking to your friend out there at Punk House, and then you walked up, you were talking to her, I didn't want to interrupt, I just stood there, and it's like, when I'm in this environment, even my band friends, they'll come up to me, they're like, hey, what's up, Pipeman? I'm like, fuck, who was that? You know, because it like all spins around in your head.
Yeah.
And then so she was telling me afterwards, and she was telling me y'all grew up together, and even the boys from Bring Me the Horizon, like,
yeah.
And like you were just all at the same time came up like this, and it's like,
absolutely,
that's fucking cool. Like, how often does that happen, that a bunch of schoolhouse friends all are in the same industry and come up together?
You know what, like in Sheffield, it's been a really good scene over the years where, like, I think when sort of deathcore came about, like Bring Me were there paving the way, sort of like 2008, maybe before that even. And then a few years later, along came a band called While She Sleeps. And then we were there, I don't know, maybe 16 years old, going to shows around like local towns like Sheffield, Leeds, etc. And them guys were playing, and we were taking a lot of influence from all of that. And then we were playing the whole time as a band, but never really very well or whatever. And so it took a few more years for us to kind of get some shows locally, and then branch out sort of like an hour or two's drive, and then start traveling around the country. And yeah, I mean, it's fair to say those guys paved the way for our local scene.
Nice.
The names still ring out today, and everyone's still smashing it. And we just did a tour with While She Sleeps. First shows with While She Sleeps for like, I don't know, 10 years or something. Malevolence and While She Sleeps. That was in November around Europe for like 5 weeks. And yeah, it was just sick to be back with the boys again.
I know, right?
It was nice.
How weird is that? Like, one day you're playing, or, you know, like hanging out, and then you're playing for real. Yeah,
exactly. Like, you know, the first show was in Paris, and it was sold out, like, I don't know, maybe 1,500 people or more, and it was just like, that was a bit of a, I like wobbled my head moment. Yeah, it was sick to see, a bit sick to be back with the boys and see how far we've come over the years.
Yeah, totally. And, you know, it's funny, now that I'm talking to you, I have completed the Sheffield trio, because I've interviewed Bring Me and While She Sleeps, and now you. So it's like, I've covered all of Sheffield.
Fair enough.
But I also want to congratulate you, because
thank you.
You were telling your friend about you're having a baby.
Yeah. I just found out I'm going to be a dad.
How cool is that?
I went to tell the news to our guitarist Josh, and he turned around and said, "Me too." And it turns out,
you were saying
he's 2 weeks ahead of me.
How wild is that?
It's so crazy. Yeah, I mean, like, having the news personally was a big curveball, and now him as well. It's going to be sick, because, like, we're on a journey together now, basically, and December's going to be a busy month for us. Yeah, both having kids. Hopefully, everything goes smoothly, touch wood.
So what are you going to tell your kid about the music business?
Oh, wow, you know what? I'm just going to give him or her a pair of drumsticks and see what they can do.
Right?
It's Slipknot's children's band, Vended.
Yes, I've interviewed Clown's Kid and Griffin. I've interviewed them both.
Yeah, we know those boys. They're good lads.
And let me tell you something. Don't tell Clown, but his kid's a better drummer than he is. Okay?
Fair.
But Griffin is frickin' Corey 2.0. Like, even when he talks, you can hear the same voice. As a lot of people say, they think it's manufactured. No, that's Griffin. Okay, it's not. Like, they're not trying to be Slipknot. They're trying to be themselves.
Going, for sure.
And I have total respect for that.
It must be hard doing all that, because, you know, so you've got to live up to your dad's name or whatever. That must be tricky.
And people think that it's because you're dead.
It's like, they've been handed everything, but no, I see those boys out on the road grafting.
They're fucking badass.
So yeah, hats off to them. They're nice guys.
So the first time I heard your band, and I'll say it on Sirius XM, and even though they're another radio station, but I love them.
Shout out Jose.
I love Jose. We're friends, and he's the coolest dude ever. And I heard it on there, and I'm an old school thrash metalhead.
Me too.
And I heard your music. I'm like, holy fuck, bring me back to this.
Oh yeah, the jacket's out.
Look at that
Holy
shit.
shit, that looks like it's been to a few shows.
A little bit. Okay, so look at those that patch.
Wow.
Look at where'd the other patch go? Oh, there it is.
Holy shit. That looks old.
You can barely tell what it is.
Older than me. I bet.
Right? Slayer didn't even have a patch yet, so I did that.
Yeah,
And I put the velvet on there.
Wow.
When I was talking to a bunch of bands, they were like, oh my God, when did Metallica have a logo like that? They'd never been that kind of band. And that's Jump in the Fire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Shit, very old school then.
I mean,
Wow.
you guys or Bring Me are on here because this was from 1981,
Wow, fair play.
right?
Yeah, I was born in 1993, just to put things into perspective.
That's right.
There you go. I was minus something.
So, what was that first moment for you that you knew this is what you wanted to do?
I went to see Chimera in 2005. That was my first standing up show. And that was at Corporation in Sheffield with Hate Sphere on support. And I walked in and everyone had long hair. Everyone was just headbanging. The room stunk of weed. And then people were just pitting like I'd never seen, like smashing into each other. And I was probably 12. And I just walked in. I was like, this is so hard. I was like overwhelmed. And by the end of the night, I went in the pit a little bit. I think I got a black eye because obviously I was probably half the size of everybody in there. So like I was elbow height. As soon as I went in, just got smacked in the face, and I was so like amazed by it. And next
You were
day
initiated.
Exactly. There you go. And next day I walked into school with a shiner, a black eye, and I was just like, yo, I was in the pit last night.
Nice.
That was kind of like what happened. And then
So this vest has blood on it from me climbing up on top of a Marshall stack and swan diving, and the crowd moved while I was midair.
oh my god.
Yeah, teeth hit the floor.
Wow. I bet you always remember that one.
Not only that, the band does, because I was friends with the band. Okay, it's so wild because they were gone for like, I don't know, it's been like 30 years, and they just came out with a new album a couple years ago.
Oh, nice.
And I get the press release, and they're like, can you interview this band? And I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, I'll interview this band. And he got on with me. I'm like, you probably don't remember me. And he stopped me right there. He's like, oh my God. I always wondered what happened to you. I felt so bad. It happened on it was the lead singer, the leader of the band. On the last note of the song, I hit the floor. Not on purpose. It just happened that way. Like, it didn't end the show because of me. It was already ending.
I think it's a rite of passage doing a stage dive and not getting caught.
I know, right?
That happened to me.
And he goes, you are like the most tragic LA metal story ever. And I was like, I recorded it. I played it for my kids because you're going to find out. You tell your kids stories. And they're like, yeah, right, Dad. Sure, blah, 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 blah. And they think you exaggerate. And he described it perfectly. I'm like, yeah, I didn't bullshit.
Nice.
So tell everybody your guys' socials, what you got coming up, how they can buy your merch, because they can't listen to my show without your merch. Especially you got to bring up a kid, and that's the only way you make money.
Yeah, we need to sell some shirts and records.
That's right.
Sure. So yeah, the web store that we run ourselves, which is the label mlvltd.com. That's where we're an operation of 3 guys, myself, our bassist Wilkie, and the guitarist from Guilt Trip, Jack. He's in the warehouse every day running operations. And yeah, you know, it's a small little project, and that's where we've been selling our own stuff for a long time. Ever since day one, really. We've always like had a DIY approach, and yeah, we've been doing all that. Yeah,
I love that,
keeps us
by the
busy.
way.
Yeah, we live for it, to be honest.
It's old school, and it's the way it should be, because
Exactly.
I was there in the whole Sunset Strip 80s shit.
Oh, yeah.
And the suits have no business telling the creatives how to create.
If you can't beat them, join them.
That's right.
But not much like that. Yeah.
Well, you guys fucking rock. I'm glad you're here at Download, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thank you very much.
What? Now, fuck off.
All right, what's up, guys? It's Charlie from Malevolence, and you're listening to the Pipeman on W4CY.com radio.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.